was that just the end of basketball that we witnessed today? Um, I don't know what England just manages to find a way to lose this World Cup. I think that's the headline that it should be. You know, the death of basketball. England can't win a game.
The
That's it was crazy. What a game!
yeah
What a game! I don't know if I should praise India for bowling well or um, you know, or just what happened to England. Um, self-combusting. Imploding on themselves. England's confidence is negative 150. Um, like it's crazy how bad they're playing, and considering how arrogant they were about winning this World Cup, um, it's slightly satisfying as a non-English fan, but just warning signs for England cricket in general. What are your first thoughts?
yeah. First thoughts on that was just I thought they did really well with the bowling. It was a
Yeah.
bit of a surprise to see they restricted them down for 230.
Mm-hmm.
But Lucknow as a pitch, you've seen it in the IPL, the ball spins and stuff. But it's not just about the spin. I thought the seamers, India spin seamers were good, and
Yeah.
obviously, like you said, combined with the English batting, like just not there, not the part.
English incompetency.
Yeah,
That's what you have to label it as.
yeah,
You know,
they couldn't play swing, and then we cross
they
over.
couldn't play. They couldn't even play straight balls.
Yeah,
They couldn't even play the ball that went straight. Root is falling over. His head is way out. You can talk about that as technically as a coach. His head is falling way over the offside. That was might have been one of the plummest LBWs I've ever seen. You
yeah.
should lose all your reviews for reviewing such an LBW, wasting the umpire's time. Honestly, just the English batting was woeful, and I agree with you. It's they did very well with the ball, and we were discussing this. Uh, we kind of meet in person as well. You do coaching kind of close to, uh, and I come along in person, talk. And we were talking yesterday and saying that, oh, England might be the game that India lose, because I think that India needs to lose one game, get it out of their system. And England, somebody said that England might be the game that India lose. And I remember saying, no, it's impossible because England can't even chase 200 runs. And that's exactly what happened today. They bowled really well on a pitch that was helpful, combined with some really bad batting by India, to be honest. Just throwing their wickets away. Um, England bowled well, kept the pressure up, but I think the story of the game has to be just England's implosion. Uh, they are just shot for confidence, um, no application. They're not able to show their skills, uh, and they're trying to baseball their way out of everything, and it just does not work. It just baseball does not work. It hasn't worked ever. Even the wins that they got in the test matches and things in England is not because of baseball. It's because the wickets are bowler friendly and England have bowlers that can take wickets in England. It's not baseball. Baseball is the worst thing. It doesn't make sense.
Also against like quality bowling,
Yeah.
you get away with baseball against Ireland teams like that. Like for quality bowling, India, you can see those seamers. Like those three seamers are top notch.
Yeah.
They've been performing in every single game. One
Yeah.
of the seamers is stepping up. If not, they bowl a hunt in the pack. So I
Yeah.
think what we said even at the start of the World Cup, we said that you might have to play old-fashioned cricket,
Hmm.
old-fashioned good cricket. You see
Yeah.
the lines Shami's bowling. He's hitting this 4 to 6 meter mark, which
Yeah.
is just the back of the length, hitting top of off. If you look at his seam presentation, it's just immaculate. You can see the ball, it's pitching off the seam and then rising and then getting, and it is just targeting the stumps. There's a
Hmm.
difference between swing, which we get in England, and seam. So seam is basically when the ball hits the surface, and swing is through the air. And Mohammad
Hmm.
Shami, you could see he was hitting the surface. He hits the deck well on that
Yeah,
length. And that's why he's very dangerous when he bowls.
exactly. And that's exactly right. And in Indian conditions where there's not much swing to the air,
Yeah,
getting that little bit of movement off the wicket itself
yeah,
is very helpful and makes it very difficult to play. So, I mean, credit to Mohammad Shami, credit to Bumrah. Obviously, they're very good bowlers. But if we just kind of look through some of the dismissals that England had, um, like Ben Stokes, for example, he had a string of 10 balls from Mohammad Shami. He was running down the track, missing the ball, running down the track, hitting it straight to a fielder, trying to get away, and couldn't get any runs off his first 9 balls, and then just does a
wow.
wild hack across the line. If you look at the replay for that, you don't even know where he's trying to hit that ball. If he middled it, where would that ball even have gone?
Yeah, he loses his shape totally. He loses his shape. His head's going all over the place. He's cleared that
Yeah,
front leg. He's cleared the
yeah.
right leg to try and open the mid-wicket region. But even if you look at the context of things, where they were when he was there, they
Hmm.
were 2 or 3 down still.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
only need 230 runs. It's not
yeah.
like you need 400 runs you're chasing.
Exactly,
If
exactly.
if he bought that time, even if he scored 15 balls for his first run, he just had to buy some time there, just get
Mm,
through the bowling. So again,
yeah.
what the lack of game awareness, or is that the case? So that is clearly shown here.
But this is exactly the symptoms of what baseball brings, right? It's the impose yourself at any cost mentality, and it just does not work. You can't play cricket trying to do that. If Ben Stokes, England was 30 for 2 in a spot of bother. Ben Stokes, Johnny Bairstow, pick off one boundary and over, or suck up the pressure for maybe 1 or 2 overs. England would have got over the line. But giving that little opening to bowlers of the quality of Shami and Bumrah, and they're going to make you pay for that. And that's exactly what they did. Twice Bumrah and Shami were both on hat tricks, and that's because the England batsmen were just losing wickets in clumps. Not showing determination. Not showing game awareness, like you said. And even though the ball was doing a little bit, definitely it is batting conditions under lights in India. Do you? The ball comes onto the bat. It swings less, moves around less. The wickets settle down, and it just shows the lack of confidence that England has in their own batting. They're throwing their hands at the ball. They're not playing compact drive. They're not playing authoritative shots. They're kind of playing in hope that they're going to hit the ball for six.
Yeah,
Whereas other teams, you
yeah,
look at Rohit Sharma, he knows he's going to hit the ball for six.
yeah. I was going to come to Rohit Sharma. You can see the application. Like again, we saw in most of the games he's been taking on the bowlers and he's scoring at over 120 strike rate. Look at
Yeah.
today. He caught himself in. He saw that Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, he lost his partners.
Hmm.
He had to step up. He had to
Exactly.
consolidate. India at one point were just over 4 runs and over at the start, and he
Well,
consolidated.
until 25 overs, they were under 4 runs and over.
Yeah,
At 25 overs, India scored their first 100. Um, and, that is just showing. And Rohit Sharma was playing a lot of defensive strokes, taking singles. They were showing the maturity, um, which is very important. So, yeah.
yeah. No, it's again like you got to be able to adapt. You saw Sky come in, also take the initiative after a long time. India, the good thing with a successful team, you can see it's a totally like everyone's contributed like from 1 to 6 now. If you look at England, like there's no one, everyone's out of form. So that's another issue they have here.
Yeah. I think I just wanted to actually discuss India's batting in that sense. They didn't actually bat particularly well. And I just want to ask kind of, is this a worrying sign? Why do you think India didn't bat well? And is this something that you think is a one off, or like will it go in future matches? Something that they need to address?
I think with regards to the batting, it's a one-off, we can say, but like I think just concerned about Shreyas Iyer against the short ball. He doesn't look. You've seen the dismissals in this tournament.
Mhm.
Like people have worked him out. So I'm not sure whether you can look at a change if possible, but he doesn't look as comfortable as I would like him. So I think
Yeah,
that's yeah,
yeah, exactly. I kind of just wanted to discuss the way that the Indian batsmen were getting dismissed. You know, a lot of them were trying to force the issue
yeah,
on a wicket that was clearly very difficult to play your shots on. You know, Kohli got out trying to go over mid off. You know, Rahul got out trying to go over mid on.
yeah,
And same, even Shreyas Iyer, it was a short ball, but he was trying to hit the short ball like way into the stands and was in no position to hit the shot. These type of wickets where they're two pace, you know, difficult to play. How do you approach the batting, and how should you look to score your runs?
yeah. Maybe even like instead of that short ball, like just drop your ego and let it go, let the ball go.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
also, if you're going to play, you just got to let the ball come on here. It's not a
yeah,
wicket. It's not a wicket where you can just go and go after the bowling. You saw
hmm,
you saw Rohit Sharma and the shots he played. He had to wait for the ball. He had to time the ball. So it's
hmm,
more about probably even playing later
yeah,
because you can't just force. You can't just go hard at the ball because
yeah,
the wicket is of that nature, the two
hmm,
nature.
yeah. But even Rohit Sharma, when he then tried to force the issue, you know, accelerate the
Yeah,
scoring, he got out as well. So I'm just wondering, what should India's approach then have been to try to get a more defendable total? You know, obviously they did defend this against England, but I still think, um, you know, they didn't make the best use of their batting innings. What would you have done differently? You know?
yeah. Like with Sky, I'm looking at Sky as a good example. If he's on 49, there was about what 3-4 overs remaining when he
Hmm,
got up. So if he stays there, he just knocks it about and he stays there and gets the boundary, odd boundary instead of playing that rash shot. That you can add another in the 4 overs instead of getting 24, you could probably get 40. So that's
hmm,
about that difference of 25, 30 runs, which Rohit Sharma was talking about. So I
hmm,
think it's just batting with just being clever about your approach and just knowing which shots you're selecting
hmm.
and making good decisions. That's what I feel.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, other than India's batting, which hopefully is just a one-off, and hopefully the batsmen kind of learn from this and apply themselves in future game. You know, try to take the game as deep as they can. Um, India bowled quite well, uh, but what about England's batting? You know, what is happening with England's batting? None of them have been able to score any runs this tournament, other than the Bazball, which we're on about. Do you think that's the only issue, or do you think there's something deeper that England also needs to look into?
I think there's this issue of their contracts, which got announced just recently when the
Hmm.
World Cup was going on. Some players have the contracts, central contracts. Some players have 1 year contracts.
Yeah.
I think that influences you a lot because you're thinking, look, that oh my place is under scrutiny. David Willey, who
Mm.
bowled really well today, does not have a contract.
Yeah.
So I think that influences that because there's a lot of outside noise. If you have a 1 year contract, you can go and play in all these leagues. So
Hmm,
basically, mentally, you're not there for your country.
hmm.
You're thinking about, look, I can play elsewhere. So I
Yeah.
think there's this. It's very mental that like
So do you think England's batting woes are completely because of the mental side of things?
I think it's mental. Obviously, there's some skill involved where they can't play that moving ball, which is what they're doing is they're playing way away from their body. Like you said, they need to be more compact. You can see most of the dismissals are bold, so that tells you there's a gap between bat and pad as well. Like someone
Hmm,
like Joe Root also got LBW, so I don't think they can play that ball which is coming into them.
hmm.
So they've struggled pretty much with that, and obviously, like we said, decision making is the key. They don't have a clear plan to how
Hmm.
to approach. Are they looking to score 400 every game? But some pitches don't allow you to do that. Can you get to 270, 250, and then see how it goes? So they can't work out the right totals and the right way of going about their batting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that actually makes sense because I feel like England has been confused, for lack of a better term, this whole tournament. Their selection in the first few game was a very confused selection. Even their squad in general is a confused squad. You're coming to, and we talked about this, and I remember at the start when you predicted England to be one of the top four, I didn't have them in my top four, and the reason for that was they've only brought one genuine spinner to the subcontinent to play a World Cup, and that just seems like a very confused decision to me, in the sense of obviously you're going to need more spinners um, in India, where the ball does turn a lot. It's hard to play the spin. You can't come in with only one spinner and part timers otherwise. Even the batsmen, they've picked batsmen who've never shown ability against spin bowling. Uh, you know, so it's a very confused squad, and the tactics are also very confused. England never knows when to chase. They never know when to set a total. Even today, Butler was asked, "Why did you put India to bat first? Was it because of the dew?" And Butler's response was that he didn't even consider the dew. It was just a gut feeling. So I just think
Yeah,
England is very confused, tactically, skill wise, in their squad, in their selections, and that's showing on the field. They just don't know what to do when they get into any position in a game that's slightly unfamiliar.
yeah. It's more they're playing on the vibes, and they just look disinterested. If you
Yeah.
ask me that, it doesn't just feel like they're here. They were looking like if you're looking to teams like Afghanistan, you're just trying to take them lightly. That's the point.
Hmm.
Or where England, where the defending champions, will score big
Yeah.
against you. But
Hmm.
all these teams are improving. You can see there's a lot of hunger in the other teams, be it Netherlands, be it Afghanistan, be it Sri
Hmm.
Lanka, who just come over.
Yeah.
Like now, people see that opening, that fourth spot opening, and they're like, "Oh, we'll have some of that." So
Yeah.
there's that. They're very like relaxed. They're too relaxed, maybe I feel as well,
Hmm.
thinking that
Hmm.
oh, top four is guaranteed for us.
Definitely.
So it's just the
Yeah.
approach. Yeah,
Yeah. So does this confirm India as the favorites, you think, for the World Cup?
yeah. I strongly feel I could, I can see it being 9 out of 9 as well,
Yeah.
and then onto the semi when that's when we'll know who the fourth team is. But I reckon it'll be. I'm looking at a India New Zealand semi and Australia South Africa on the other side.
Yeah, possibly. I think
Yeah,
it'll be India, South Africa, because I think South Africa will come in fourth place,
yeah.
and India will be first, and then the New Zealand, Australia semi. But yeah, I think my top four then is India,
As it is.
New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. I think those are the teams that are really finding their feet. Australia is showing that they're a very capable side, and they've brought in Travis Head, who scored 100 on
100.
his
Yeah,
comeback, and he looks very dangerous. And I think he was the missing piece, to be honest, for Australia, because Warner and Head at the top of the order, giving them a good start makes them very dangerous. But yeah, I think that's the only one concern I have for India is if they are set to big total, say a team like South Africa or Australia make 350 or 360 in the first innings. I don't know, considering India's temperament and pressure that they put on themselves in knockout games, if they'll be able to chase down such a total. So I think that's the only one black mark, um, kind of, that's a doubt. But otherwise, I think India are definitely favorites for this World Cup. They've shown that in almost any conditions, they have the skills, the variety, and enough batting to kind of deal with any sort of conditions that are thrown at them.
yeah, and also everyone's come to the party for them. Name me
Yeah,
in the 11. Name me someone who's not performed, and it's very hard.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
I see them going quite far. I
yeah.
think Australia have peaked well. but I think still that middle order needs some work.
Yes,
If Maxwell Head and Warner are not scoring the runs, who's scoring the other runs?
exactly. I think Inglis has come in and scored a few runs, but I've always been of the opinion that Steve Smith is not a one-day player, and having both Steve Smith and Labuschagne in the same 11, it just slows down the middle order completely. I don't think they offer much, if anything, um, in these subcontinent conditions. And Steve Smith seems horribly out of nick. He hasn't been able to hit a ball off the square, and same with Labuschagne. He's trying to hit the ball so hard and it goes nowhere. So I don't know what both of them are doing in the team. Australia doesn't need either of them because they don't really need that middle order stability. They need continued acceleration. I feel,
Stoinis
um,
or Cam Green
yeah,
would be a
like
good
a
option.
Stoinis or a Cam Green to just continue to get in the middle order and hit those boundaries and put the foot on the pedal because they have Inglis and Maxwell down the order who are capable batsmen and can score big runs on any day. So I think I agree. Australia need to sort that out. But yeah, they're looking like they're peaking at the right time. Obviously, New Zealand has shown that they can even chase big totals. They just missed out against Australia, but they look strong as well. But India, I think, firmly on top at this point of time.
Yeah, special mention that Rachin Ravindra looks
Hmm.
the part. Like you thought the first game might have been like just one off. He's
Yeah,
come back strong. It looks like he's gonna
third
get
highest run
first
scorer this World Cup.
champion contract loading there.
He is impressed. Did you know Rachin Ravindra's name?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go into that again. I think everybody knows about Rachin Ravindra's name by this
yeah.
point. But yeah, um, I mean, the World Cup's definitely coming and heating up. It's 2.5 weeks in, but we're getting to the business end, and things are getting very interesting. Even though I think the top four is nearly solidified now, and we'll look forward to the rest of the World Cup. I think still a couple of important games to come to just solidify that top four. But the semifinals are approaching very fast, and that's going to be very exciting considering all the teams playing a very good level of cricket now.
There's a relegation battle as well. If if England don't finish in the top six, they have to qualify for the Champions Trophy in Pakistan. So they
Wow.
have to win two of the next three games, which is Australia, Pakistan, and Netherlands. So they have
Ooh.
to win two of those games to make sure that they're in direct qualification. Otherwise, they have to do a qualification process.
Imagine that. Imagine England being shipped off to Zimbabwe or whatever or wherever it is to try to qualify for the Champions Trophy. That would be
Yeah.
very funny to see. But yeah, I mean, see, there's a lot of cricket to be played still, lots up for grabs, and who knows? Netherlands might even beat England at this point.
Yeah, so 2 out of 3. That's what they'll be hoping for.
Perfect. Well, we'll be back to catch all of those games, review the rest of the action in the World Cup. But yeah, just wanted to get this out there for the India England game today. I mean, I've got my India cap on, so very happy about the result. But we look forward to what happens in the rest of the World Cup, what unfolds, and hopefully you guys can tune in next time and we'll review more of the World Cup action.